Hello, welcome to this beginner's tutorial of InDesign. My name is Zach, and today I'm going to show you the basics of InDesign step by step by creating a brand new document. If you don't have InDesign already and you just want to give it a try, you can download a free 30-day trial from adobe.com. For today's tutorial, we're going to design a fall-themed recipe. So let's go ahead and get started. When you open up InDesign, you're going to start on this black plain screen right here. And to open up our new document, you're going to click on File, New, and Document. And this is going to open up this new document dialog box right here. Now if it's not already selected, you want to go ahead and click on this preview checkbox right here. This is going to allow you to see your document right here in the center as you're picking all these options. So we're going to leave the number of pages to 1 for our recipe and leave the rest of these options as their defaults. And click OK. Now that we've done that, we're ready to start designing our document. Today, if you haven't used InDesign before, it may be a little bit intimidating when you see all these options and tools everywhere, but today we're going to keep it really simple. We're just going to be using the selection tool, which is this black arrow right here, and the type tool, which is this T right here on the side. And the first one we're going to use is the type tool. So go ahead and left click on the type tool, and what the type tool allows you to do is create areas for text. So the first one we're going to make is for the title of our recipe. So we're going to go ahead and left click right here and drag out, and this is the area for our title. So now we can put text inside this box right here. And instead of typing this out, I'm going to go ahead and just paste all this text in here so I don't have to type it all out for you. I have it saved right here. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight this and click Control C to copy it if you're on Windows, or Command C if you're on a Mac. And then right in here I'm going to paste it in with Control V if you're on Windows, or Command V if you're on a Mac. So now we've got this text in here. Let's go ahead and do some formatting to it. So to do that, with the type tool still selected, you're going to highlight our text right here. And the first thing we're going to change is the font. And to do that, you're going to go right up here to the top left, and you can see it starts as this default right here. We're going to left click on the drop down menu, and I'm going to change this font to Trebuchet. So I'm going to scroll down to the T's and click on Trebuchet. And the next thing we're going to change with this font is the size. So right next to where you change the font is the size. It starts by 12 as default. Going to left click on that drop down menu, and we're going to change this to 36. And as you can see right here, it got kind of cut off. The apple pecan stuffing just kind of went outside that box. So to fix that, we're going to click on our selection tool right here. And now that we've got the selection tool selected, we can change the size of this little box right here. So I'm just going to drag it on over, make it a little bit bigger, and now we can see stuffing again. So we want to format this text a little bit more, so I'm going to go back to the type tool. I'm going to left click that again, re-highlight our text, and the next thing we're going to change is the color of the text. And to do that, we're going to go over to this T right here above it and click the arrow right next to that. And this opens up our color swatches. In InDesign, the color swatches are just pre-made colors that you can use to change your text in your document. Now we've got some pre-made ones right here, but none of these are really good for our fall themed recipe. So what we're going to do is make our own new color swatch. So to do that, we're going to click on this drop down menu right here in the corner and click New Color Swatch. Now this is going to open up a little dialog box for us, and from here we can change the percentages for all the individual colors that make up our brand new color swatch. So we're going to do 0% for cyan, 60% for magenta, 85% for yellow, and 30% for black, and click OK. And as you can see, we've got this nice orange-brown fall color for our title. And if you go back to our color swatches, you can see we actually have this color swatch saved, so we can use this again later on in our document. Perfect. So the next thing we're going to do is insert an image into our document. So to do this, we're going to click on the selection tool, click somewhere on the page, and the next thing we're going to do is click on File, then Place, and I'm going to select our apple pecan stuffing right here and click Open. And as you can see, I now have this image on my cursor. And what I can do with this is left click right where I want to start the image and drag, and this is going to let me select how big I want this image to be. So I'm going to do this size right here, and now I've got my image out, and with my selection tool still selected, I can drag this all around and put it wherever I want on the page. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right there. That looks good. Perfect. So the next thing that we want to do now that we have our image is add some more text to the rest of our recipe. So I'm going to click the type tool again, and we're going to create some new areas for text. So I'm going to put one right here next to the image, about the same size. I'm going to put one right under that, make a big long one. I'm going to put one right next to that one, and I'm going to try to keep that just about the same size. Perfect. So now I've got these new text areas to work in. We're going to start with this one right next to the image. And the text we're going to put in this one is the time for how long it takes to make this recipe. So I'm going to go ahead and copy all of this once again, paste it right on into the box. Perfect. So now let's format this text just like before. We're going to start with the title, which is time, and we're going to change that font just like before to Trebuchet for the title. Right there. Right next to it, we're going to change the size, change that to 24. And we're going to change the color to our custom color swatch that we made from earlier. Perfect. Now for this body text, we're actually going to make this different from the title text. So we're going to highlight that, and we're going to change this font to Verdana. So I'm going to scroll down all the way to Verdana, click that, and let's change the size to 18. There we go, nice and big for you. And let's keep the color as black for the body text. So for the next box, let's put the ingredients in right here. So I'm just going to copy all this, paste it right on in, and I'm going to do the same thing for the next box, which is the directions. I'm just going to copy all that text and paste it right into the box. So let's format these the same way with the title. For this one is ingredients, so we're going to change that to Trebuchet just like before. Right there. I'm going to change the size to 24 and the color to our custom color swatch. Do the exact same thing with directions. I'm going to highlight directions, change the font to Trebuchet, change the size to 24, and the color to our custom color swatch. Perfect. Now let's edit this body text so we can get some matching text going along here. Let's change this one to Verdana, just like we did with the body text on time. Verdana. And let's change the size to 11. Do the exact same thing with the body text for directions. I'm going to go over here, change the font to Verdana, and the size to 11. Perfect. So now we've got our text all around here and our image placed. And if you ever want to take a look at what your document looks like at this particular moment in time, without all these lines and formatting everywhere, if you just go ahead and click off of your document out here in the gray area and then press W on your keyboard, it'll remove all that. So this is what your document will actually look like when it's printed right here. And now that I'm looking at that, I can see that this image should probably be moved over just a little bit. So I'm just going to slide that up just a little bit so it's a little more even with time. So I think that looks good right there. That's perfect. So now that we've got that all adjusted, I'm going to press W again so that we can see our lines again. And we've got all of our text and our image lined up, but we want to add some color to our recipe to really make it pop. So we're going to add some background images. So just like before when we inserted our image, we're going to press File, Place, and I'm going to select this background image right here that I have saved. And just like before, I'm going to click right here and just drag this out where I want it. Now, as you can see, this is really big and it covered up all of our text, but we can fix that. So with our image right here, I'm going to click on the image with my selection tool selected, and then I'm going to right click and click Arrange, and then click Send to Back. So now this image is behind all of our text, but it's still a little too big right here. As you can see, it's sliding down into the middle of our time. So all I'm going to do right here is with the image still selected, I'm just going to click right here to slide it up and make it a little bit smaller, stop it right there. And let's take a look at that again. I'm going to click off screen and press W. And that looks nice. That's where we want it. So now let's also add a background image for the body of the rest of our text. So I'm going to click W again so we can see all of our lines. And we're going to do the same thing. File, Place, choose the second background image that I saved. Same thing, I'm going to click right here, and I'm just going to drag that across and make it right there. And the same thing, as you can see, it's in front of all of our text, so we're going to click it, right click, I'm going to click Arrange, Send to Back. So now it's behind everything again. And for this one, it's a little too small, so we're going to change the y-axis without changing the x-axis because we have the good amount of size left to right. We just want to change up and down. So I'm going to right click on that image once again, and we're going to click Transform, Scale. Now you're going to get this little dialog box here. Make sure that this constraint is unlocked. If it's locked like this, then your x and y will always be the same, and that's not what we want. Make sure it's unlocked, and we're going to make sure preview is checked right here so we can see our changes as we go. And I'm just going to change this y scale real quick. Let's try 275. I'm just going to hit tab real quick, and that made our changes. As you can see, it slid down and it looks like it's covering the rest of our document. Let's click OK. And as you can see, it actually went a little bit over the rest of our document, but that's alright because our document is only going to show what fits on the page. If we look at it again, we're going to click off the side and click W. This is our real document. This is what's going to be printed. And as you can see, it stops right here at the bottom. So it looks like our document is all done. We can see we have a nice title, we have an image, we formatted all of our text, and this looks like it's all ready to go. So in about 10 minutes or so, we created a simple fall-themed recipe using very, very basic tools and options. If you enjoyed using InDesign today, you can find more tutorials online at adobe.com. Thanks for watching this tutorial in InDesign. I hope you learned something useful, and have a wonderful day.